DIY.
A year ago, Kendrick, I believe, created a shift in hip hop like
Mhm.
we've never seen before. Talk a little bit about your pride as a mentor of his to see him dominate the way that he has.
He's funny. He told me some shit like that. He was like, "Man, you always been the best leader." I was like, "What?" I don't think I ever perceived it that way. I just knew I was older than all the homies. You feel me? So it was like I felt more responsible and tasked to go out and find stuff. For Dot specifically, like again, I've watched him be successful. You know what I mean? I watched him come out with his first record and go double platinum. I watched him put out different albums. I watched him make a #1 record. Now I've argued with him about records. You know what I mean? During this process, and I always looked at it like, yeah, he's the man of his generation. That's how I always looked at it. Like, okay, the homie is the man, the young homie, the man of his generation.
Mhm.
But the last 12 months, like, he
Bro.
started stepping on some of my shit. All the people that I grew up listening to. Like, he was always separate from the Jay-Z's, the Snoop Dogg, the Scarfaces, the Ice Cubes. Like, I wouldn't even put him in those conversations at that point. I felt like he was this version of his generation.
Mhm.
Man, this last 12 months, I've never seen anything quite like this ever in hip hop. A couple good years come into play, right? 50 Cent's run, Tunes running, around 2008,
Mhm.
50's running 2003, X's running 98, Dogs run in right around 93, 94. Like, I've seen some tremendous runs in hip hop. But man, I ain't never saw no shit like this in my life. And
What is so different about it?
I can remember talking to him and feeling like he was just uninspired. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, he had came off of Mr. Morale. Like, he didn't say that, but I could just feel it, feel the energy. They kind of mentioned him in that song, and just seeing a spark and then dropping, the verse to like that and just being like, and watching the world just lose it. I had never seen that kind of power. I had never seen that kind of power from one hip hop artist. Like, I had never seen one verse take up the world to that degree. And I'm
Insane.
thinking of some really great verses. Andre's verse on International Players Anthem.
That's
It's a
another one.
great
Yeah.
verse. People
Yeah.
love that verse. The whole Exhibit C, I saw it, you know what I mean? But never like this.
You could also go back to another cultural phenomenon in the Control verse. But once again, that's
But I saw that.
Predating that.
Saw that. I saw
Right,
Control, like, and I've still seen things that happened that were as big as Control, if not bigger.
Mhm.
Like, don't get me wrong, Control was huge, but for this song to first week come at #1 and like the whole fucking game just be like, it went to #1. So Control was just a moment in hip hop.
Mhm.
This verse became a fucking moment for the whole country.
Right. Omar coming. That's what I thought about with The Wire. Everybody cleared out. You didn't see people who had releases scheduled. They said, I think something's about to happen. Let me hold off.
And it was like, for that it went #1. So that was like, so this is just third #1, right? And I'm like, damn, he shook everybody up with that one. And I'm listening. I'm like, yo, this shit fire. Like, like, yo, he eating at another level. Like this, like, I heard all that other stuff, but I'm like, damn, that was crazy. So then obviously this huge battle happens, right? It's the biggest battle by far because it's the biggest two competitors at the time, right? It's the biggest battle by far. And they get the whole world. It's the first time hip hop, somebody in hip hop had the whole world in a competition. Right. So you have Drake, who may not, like I've said, may not be hip hop, but he's by far one of the biggest acts to ever release rap songs ever in his life. Like, in life, he's this huge guy to release rap songs. And then you have this hip hop kind of, mainstay at another level that's still a mainstream success, still doing arenas, you know what I mean? But he's not quite this pop sensation that he's about to rap against. And, it just gave me vibes of different things. Like rap had gotten so big to where it could be people rapping like Post Malone that are not hip hop, like Miley Cyrus, that like, this is how big this vocal expression got, when it comes to the art of songs. And it's like, you have this huge battle and the whole world clears out. The whole world clears out. Like, I never saw a battle where the whole world clears out.
Yeah,
like,
nobody was dropping nothing.
Yeah, Nas and Jay was big, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like this. You know, Pac and the shit he was saying about Big was big, but it wasn't like the whole world as they were talking about on the fucking news. I was like, so watching him handle himself and talking to him at the time, and him still just being in student mode, yet confident in his abilities, it was really different, man.
Why do you think now was the perfect storm for an artist like Kendrick to thrive?
That's a really good question. It's more about the things that he thought more than what it was about Dot. Like Dot has always been primed for opportunity. He's a genuine article. I think in Drake's situation, it was more like started believing the hype. He's like one of the best record makers I ever heard in the business. He's a scientist. You know, him and 40, they're like scientists with this shit. You know, and Kanye, very Kanye-ish. They are like special record makers. They did it under the guise of hip hop, this cultural experience. It was never something that he had to do, right? Because he had already had success at the highest level. So it's something he chose to do. No different than anybody else. Eventually, if you challenge the wrong thing, if you challenge the genuine article, you know what I mean? It may not work out in your favor. You know what I mean?
It's not that. It's not that. You might have won one of these. It's not that though.
Yeah, this is a little different. He should have never really been in a battle. That was the first mistake. And I remember telling Dot, there's no way he takes this battle. That'd be the dumbest thing in the world.
Right.
And I was telling other people, and they was like, oh, you don't think he could win? I'm like, it's not could he win. He's going to come out unrecognizable.
Right.
You can't battle. You know, you don't get to that position and then allow pride to drag you into a competition.
Yeah.
Like you know, you have to think a little bit more. And a lot of people felt like, oh, I gave him a lot of credit. I don't give him a lot of credit for that. Like you already proved yourself at this stage, you know, if that was something that was important. You play with the wrong person that actually understands what's happening, and it may not work out for you. But it was no way he should have took that battle in his position.
Not with any kind of, you know, alleged negotiations around the corner. Because I just look at that and I'm
And
like,
those two don't even go together. That shit is cap.
I'm saying if that was a I know people have made that a conversation. You said that's not even on the table. Why not?
Bro, because that don't have nothing to do with him winning or losing a battle. That don't raise your value.
Well, doesn't it lower your value if you have something like this happen?
Hell no. How? He's still gonna stream the same amount of records that people that listen to him, you feel me? Like gonna listen to him. His stream numbers are still, he got a catalog out of this world. That shit dumb. That's just some shit they made up. He ain't lost a Nike endorsement or nothing. Nothing happened to him from losing this battle except he lost cultural cachet. That don't matter when it comes to selling records. So all of that shit, that whole thing is as simple as he wanted his partners to do something that they wouldn't do. And now this is how he's mad at him. He's like, hey, you know what? Y'all didn't do it when I told y'all to do it. So here's what I'm going to do to y'all for trying to do it. Y'all didn't take the song down when I reached out to you in June. I reached out to you in July. When I reached out to you, I told you I was going to sue you over the song. It has nothing to do with him losing negotiating powers. It's nothing to do with him losing business. He ain't lost a dime of business. That's bullshit.
What are your thoughts on Drake taking round 2 of this battle to the courtroom?
There's no round 2. All this shit just make the worst. It just makes the fight worse.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're not gonna win a battle. You can't win. You lost a battle. The thing is to just move on.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna win. Even if you won a lawsuit, you're not gonna win a battle. You're gonna just look corny. Like it's just gonna look bad because you know what I mean? You just look like you sued because you lost a battle. And then you know people want to rewrite the idea, but it's like, bro, he's suing them because they're promoting a diss record about him. That shit just stupid, bro. That's just like I can see if you didn't even respond, maybe.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you were engaging. Like it's just dumb. You know what I mean? And again, that same idea 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I said, man, he's not hip hop. It wasn't like I came out the clear blue. I was explaining it to Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club, and he asked me, and I said, nah, he's not because of this. Every day you're going to see more and more things that express to you why he's not. You're going to realize like everything, and the problem with it is this battle makes it look more and more unfamiliar. He's going to be like, what is happening?
How are you viewing this era of hip hop? There's a lot of different titles people are putting on it right now.
Oh, man, that's a great thought. We got the reset, Kurt, that rock and jazz didn't get. You know what I'm saying? Like normally when like a specific genre goes mainstream, it eventually becomes, for lack of better terms, pasteurized. We got a chance to reset. A lot of people, it's going to clear a lot of space because I don't know if corporate dollars necessarily going to want to be involved with hip hop where it's at again. It's going back into the 80s. Probably going to create some really important and instrumental art, but it ain't the place to be looking for corporate dollars. You know what I mean? This next phase we going into. You know, you're gonna have to really know how to articulate yourself and said culture if you want corporate America to back it. Outside of that, it's going to have to just truly be the love, truly just be a love for this thing that we've been doing.
DIY.
DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't get greedy. Peace.